Hey, can you copy the agenda or are you all set?
If you have an extra copy, it'd be great. Thank you.
Oh, actually, you know what? I have that one.
Somehow you make it, the fact that I have an agenda, somehow this is, reflects negatively upon me. You somehow turn this into a problem. So, we all set? Okay, so I'd like to call to order the June 15th, 2017 Board of Health meeting. Just to note that this meeting is being recorded audioly. I don't think, videoly also. So roll call, please.
Dave Williams,
Here.
Elizabeth Stevens. Here. Sue Starkey,
Excuse.
David Adams.
Here. Okay, agenda item 3. Maritza emailed minutes for the May 25th and the June 12th. Entertain a motion to accept them. You weren't here?
I wasn't here.
For either one of them?
Oh, I was here for May 25th.
Okay, so why don't we do this in, we'll do it one at a time. So let's make a motion to accept the minutes of May 25th.
I can do that.
Okay. Take a second. Any additions, corrections, changes? If none, all those in favor? Okay, all right, all set. Agenda item 3B, vote to approve the minutes for June 12th, 2017. Okay.
So I'll second that, or you want me to make?
You make the motion, I'll second it.
Okay, make a motion to accept the minutes on June 12th, 2017.
Okay, I'll second that. Any additions, changes?
No.
Okay.
I actually do have a question.
Oh, questions, okay.
My
On the 17th, on
Yes.
the 12th.
my question is actually just about a quorum, because there was a vote taken and technically 2 people out of a 4-member board with 2 people excused does not constitute a quorum.
So, and that's, we discussed that, and I vote on, I can look it up, but there's a necessities clause
Okay.
that allows, if there's no other way around it. I mean, you were unable to
Right.
get here at that time, one member has been excused, and we were left with a situation where we needed to take an emergent vote about this, and so I opted for a necessity. That's a very good question. So we really should look up the laws and find out exactly what we're allowed to do, because one of our concerns is we're short-staffed on the board anyway, and we have one member
Right.
who's out on extended leave,
Correct.
so it does create a problem.
So then my other question, so then my response to that, I should say, is that because the meeting was posted, it no longer was an emergency meeting, it was a special meeting, which meant that it was anything that was voted on does not fall under an emergency any longer.
Okay, so your position is because it was posted, okay, it no longer became an emergency?
It was not considered an emergency
Okay.
meeting, it becomes a special meeting
Okay,
as opposed to an emergency meeting because it met the 48-hour requirement of
Okay.
open meeting law.
okay. So your suggestion is what?
Well, I just want it on the record.
Okay, so you went on the record that it was a special meeting, not an emergency
That
meeting?
it was not, that it should not be considered a special, that it should not be considered an emergency meeting because it
Okay.
met the requirements of open meeting law as the 48-hour requirement to be a special meeting, not an emergency meeting.
Very good point. Okay, so do we have to change anything in the minutes to reflect that? Or, I'm more worried about going forward to make make sure that we have that we
Well,
do
so
things
then,
properly.
so then my issue becomes, then those votes, technically, there was not a quorum. So going forward, that does not meet the criteria.
All right, so let's, I mean, it's one of those things, we may have to go back and revisit that
Okay.
and say, so we'll have to look that up to see what constitutes a special meeting, what constitutes an emergency meeting, and what we can do, you know, when we don't have a quorum, because I think that's extremely good, especially seeing that we're shorthanded. So I think that's a very, very good point. David, anything else?
No, I have none.
Okay. All right, so did we take a vote on, did we approve that? We had questions, we didn't vote
No,
to
I'm
approve
good,
it.
I just,
Did we vote to approve it?
I did
I don't
not
believe
vote
so.
to approve it.
now you can.
I motioned and you seconded it.
Yeah, and then questions, comments, changes, and then Beth noted that. Can you make a note, make that for Andy to try to find out, like the rules around, you know, the quorums, special meetings, emergency meetings?
Emergency versus a special meeting.
Yeah, and also quorum issues, because
Yep.
it felt uncomfortable also, you know, trying to make a decision that we felt needed to be made, you know?
It's okay,
Okay.
I tried to get back here.
I know, believe me. And the thing is, it could happen to any one of us, you know, for
I
whatever.
thought I was gonna be back in time.
So, all right, we had a motion to second, questions, comments, and all that. All those in favor? Okay, and the June 12th meetings are accepted. Agenda item number 4, citizen forum. Anyone needs to say anything? John? Kevin? Okay, so no citizen forum. Are we at 6? You want to go start 2 minutes early? Okay, or because technically we can sit here and twiddle our thumbs, okay? So agenda item 5, we have a hearing continuance, and from last month. Can we just look over the continuance? The issue was that you were coming back here, but to maintenance concern, the hearing until June 15 meeting, to reassess progress being made by providing proof with either estimates, permits, or roof repair, purchase or sale, etc. And the motion was
Or
passed. Or both. So what do we got?
Estimates and a PNS.
So this is what?
That's the
This
PNS,
is the purchase and sale, and so you have a purchase and sale for the property,
correct.
okay? And this is what?
I got an estimates, a couple estimates prior to, because I was waiting for the PNS to sign as we had gone forward, but now the sale's gonna go through with the PNS, obviously. Probably gonna hold back on repairs if the board allows that for the sale to go through, because the price with discount, no one that needs a new roof, he's well aware of that, that's his first thing he's gonna do is roof the building.
Is that the purchase and sale agreement?
No. It wouldn't be, because it's just under the disclosure laws that you disclose to them.
So this is what? What's this here? This is,
Those are two estimates, one from
This is just
Pinecrest
the
Builders and the other one from Quality.
okay, so that's an estimate,
Yes,
and
sir.
this is, so, okay. They're all over. The difference in prices, huh?
Because on the Pinecrest Builders, he's patching the back parking lot roof versus on Quality, he wants to replace
It's just
essentially.
underlayment and all that, yeah. So you need it. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right, Dave, I didn't want to look at it.
I can hand it one way or the other. It's either left or right. I handed the purchase to sale left. I handed the, be fair. This cell, what's the date, the closing?
No later than 9:15, according to the P&S.
9:15?
Yes, sir.
So that's another 90 days.
Hmm?
So that's another 90 days.
Could be sooner. But
But
that
it
is
could be
the,
another 90 days.
there's a $10,000 security deposit, it's non-refundable. In the event that the deal falls through, they give you the money to do those repairs based on those estimates.
Do you have that in the, is
No,
that in the
it's
first?
non-refundable, it's in the, yes, that's in the P&S.
Oh, that's in there?
That's in the P&S, yes, sir. It doesn't say to do the repairs in the roof.
No, I
can do
understand.
what I want, but
But can you point that out in there? In the purchase itself?
Yeah, right
Do you have it there? So if the deal falls through, you've got enough money to fix the roof. Okay,
I'm gonna start sitting on the other side.
all right.
Yeah, fill up one page at a time.
It's a joke.
Maybe. Looks like you want copy. Okay, why don't we give that to the left, go ahead,
I'm just kidding.
don't forget this.
So you get it exactly the way.
Oh, I don't love it. I don't know if it's like that. It's showing that.
All right, there. Okay.
Now, what Andy was talking about the other day, last month, was more of just the leakage in the two areas, correct?
yes.
In the two locations?
Mhm.
Okay.
So, somebody wanna make a motion?
Well, are we satisfied?
Are you?
Well, I'm asking you guys.
I'm okay, as long as it continues the progression. You know, if there's no progression at that point in time, then obviously the $10,000 has to go right to repairs.
If you want me to come back in a month, and I'll let you know.
I would just say we just keep updated each time we have a meeting, so it's
Well,
just,
if
you
you call Maritza, or you want me to come in, it's up to you guys.
know,
I mean, I'm okay with it if you just keep us updated. I mean, I don't think you have to keep coming to the board. I mean, if you just, let Ritz know, I mean, I'm
or
okay
Andy,
with that.
yeah, just let them know. Can we have a copy of this stuff?
P&S, no.
No,
That's gonna
we
say, I don't
cannot.
think we can.
Okay.
Can we get a, I don't know the legalities of it, but can we get a reasonable assurance letter that if the deal falls through, that money would be used for repair?
From me to you, I can write one up, I have no problem with
Okay,
that.
and that's, okay, is that would make,
Yeah, I'm okay with
I have no
that.
problem with that.
so if the deal falls through, then you'll fix it, so we don't end up going another
Right,
90
well,
days
yeah,
for
sure.
another.
That's for the entire building.
Mine, lots
Every
of
other thing's
business,
gone.
everything.
Okay, as long as we keep getting up there, I'm okay, so
Thank you.
you do that.
No, I'm good.
So what I'll do is I'll draw a letter up, sign it, drop it off with Maritza, and
Yeah,
then
that's fine.
if you want, from 30 days from now, I'll give her a call before, let her know what the progress is, and that way she can keep you guys updated, that's what she,
Yeah, I'm okay
that
with that.
satisfies you guys, do whatever you guys.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, somebody wanna make a motion?
A motion.
Okay, voting motion.
Whatever it is.
Motion to accept.
To accept
Accept the
the
proposal.
proposal as is, the purchase and sale and the update.
Okay.
And the reassurance letter, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just want to make sure the term on
Reassurance.
Reasonable assurance.
Full repairs.
Would it be inappropriate to ask for the leftover stock to be put to the Board of Health, closet.
Inventory left over, sure.
What's that?
Inventory?
The inventory, to be moved over to the Board of Health's closet, that'd be improper, is it? I like ethics.
I'm pretty sure
Oh,
that's
I
not.
think that,
You only could do that if it wasn't a special meeting or.
Oh, yes.
and then the left guy,
And
all
then
the
if you
copies
have a
first.
quorum, it would be okay.
All right, if we had a quorum, we could do it.
So quick question for you though, is the, that 90 days is for the liquor license to get approved?
Done
Is
deal,
everything
done.
completely done?
Yes.
That's why it's taken so long.
I don't know, I
Okay.
refied it in 90 days.
Okie dokie, so I guess we're all set.
Thank you
Thank
guys
you,
very
sir.
much. I'll get that
Thank
to
you.
You guys have a good night.
You too, right, Joe?
Thank you.
I know where to find you.
You do. I'll find you first. Thanks.
Here we go. Chairman's announcements.
No.
I sent a revised agenda.
I don't have a revised.
Did you
I
get
do
that?
have a revised one. What are we looking at?
Tracy.
So,
Nope.
Tracy,
It says
you're up.
chairman's announcements, so we'll go. So, Casella, and we're so happy to have you back.
I will tell Stephen he's missed.
He was,
Can I tell him that?
yes.
No,
Well, really?
We need to stroke his ego.
Yes.
We thought it was wonderful.
Okay, so the updates I have for you, we'll talk about the site suitability first. So again, that's the process in which we go from DEP determination to site submitting. So up until a couple of hours ago, the comment period was to end today at 5 p.m. We had a discussion with DEP yesterday. DEP had requested quite a bit of field work in support of the site suitability. That field work being groundwater investigation, sampling, a lot of work that we've been doing over the past period of time. So we did generate a substantial amount of data through finishing up that work and submitted it to DEP. And DEP had a concern that the public would need some time to get through that information. So as of around 5 o'clock today, we agreed with DEP to allow another 21-day extension of the comment period. But I don't have anything back from DEP, so I'm literally giving you information that's just a couple hours old here.
another 3 weeks?
Yeah, so 21 days from today to
21 days from
15.
today, so-
But I think we need to maybe, put a little marker in it just to make sure that, DEP officially accepted that. I know that our home office had a conversation with them, but, I saw an email requesting the extension. I have not seen an email back saying, okay, it's extended to this period.
So this was from DEP for the 21-day public hearing, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was, we submitted a large amount of information that they had requested. And again, it was their concern, that the public would need additional time. So I think it was a conversation between our home office and DEP. I think DEP asked us if we would consider extending it so the public would have time.
All right, thank you.
So that would be what, look like the 6th,
Right.
okay.
And then again, since this was just this afternoon,
It hasn't been official yet. but-
yeah, let's just make sure of that. And then I can't speak for the exact detail of how that information will be made public.
Right,
I'm not sure on that.
okay.
Right. So that's the site suitability. So the SW26, which is the phase 11 cell over by the leachate tanks, there's no new update on that. We're still in the response to comment period where DEP has made their technical comments to us and we're responding to those. So that is a big level of effort. I don't have an exact date on when we think we're going to be replying to that. And then Stephen, I think, talked with you last meeting about the new air permit that we had been working on. We call it an LPA, or Limited Plan Approval. And that was a permit modification that we put in with the Air Bureau at DEP, just to clarify some of the operating conditions within our existing air permit. It's a very large permit with a lot of parameters and a lot of things that go into it. So we were talking with the department about clarifying some of those. So this LPA, we expect it to be final in July. So it's not a lot of major changes. Like I said, it's clarifications. Next update, the public involvement plan meeting was held at the Charlton Public Library on June 8th. It was very well attended by mostly Charlton residents. There was also Southbridge representation there. So we went through the draft public involvement plan, which is a requirement of the petition that the residents signed. I think the majority of the comments were about the water line discussion. I did a short presentation on where the water line is going to go and why it was that way. Heather Blakely was there to answer some questions, technical, that the folks had about, well, why is it there? Why do we need the pump station? How come it doesn't go this way? So what will happen with that, the next steps with that, is there's a public comment period until June 28th. It's a 20-day public comment period from the day you have the public meeting. So residents, or anybody who had attended the meeting, can make comment back to us about anything that's in that PIP plan. And the PIP plan really details how we're going to provide the public information, hard copies, social media, electronic copies, and how we're going to communicate going back and forth through the remainder of the IRA program. So folks can comment on that, and then once that comment period is over, the PIP will be finalized, and then we just kind of move forward. But I think that the expectation is that the majority of the communication, because we've been submitting IRA status reports throughout the entire period of the IRA, is probably really going to center around the water line and what's going on with construction and timeframes and all that, for a project of that size that has moved so quickly, to this point. So that's my feeling. I think that that's where a lot of the PIP communication will center around is, regular updates on that project as it goes. So that's that on the PIP. And then lastly, just another reminder that Household Has Waste Day is next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, June 24th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Who's going to own the water lines?
The water line is going to be property of the town of Southbridge. They're constructing it, and it's off of your system. So they'd be responsible for the operation and maintenance of it.
So are we charging Charlton, is there a meter at the Charlton line that Charlton's being, or each
No.
house is being?
Yeah, you will have, just like you have now,
Right.
you have Charlton customers on 169 who are customers of the town of Southbridge. It'd be the same way. So each house that hooks up would be their own customer.
Chuck?
The site suitability, I did see an email. I got one from Adria Briggs extending it to July 7th. So she's officially released the email saying that's been extended, July 7th.
Great.
So that would mean that July 7th, the comment period would end. And then there's a response to comment period. And then DEP does their next phase of review and issues a determination. So if we're going to talk about timeline for when it would come to the board as a positive determination, starting the time clock for the first hearing, we'll see it at least 21 days out from that. And then, you got to figure response to comment period, 3 weeks, depending on the volume and how the comments vary, if they're all in the same line or we have 12 different things, so it's hard to kind of project there. And then I think DEP's the only one who knows how long they'll take to finalize their decision.
Okay. So comment period ends July 7th, and then you figure.
That's what John understands from his email.
Right, and then what's after that? That gives you how much time after this?
It would be, now remember, there's nothing really formally written
Yeah.
in the regs for the kind of phase we're in.
And you're thinking 3 weeks?
I'm thinking 3 weeks is reasonable, depending on what the comments are, maybe it's shorter.
Right,
you know.
okay. Questions?
I do have one more question.
Let's get
Go ahead.
Kevin first.
Let's go.
I'm teasing him.
Tracy, what's the present airspace in, without any further movement for the,
If nothing were to change from this absolute moment in time, if the tonnage didn't change and there was not another permit issued, there's approximately a year's worth of space left in cell 7.4.
okay, thank you.
Good question.
Nick? So what's the water lines from Charlton? Are you guys still testing water in that area?
If you read the administrative consent order, that's the agreement between Charlton, Southbridge, SRDP, and the state of Massachusetts, it does state in there that I think it's 90 days post water line fully operational, that the IRA program would be closed out. So the IRA program sampling would stop, but we still have a permit required triannual sampling program that is still associated with the landfill. So we would still be doing that.
But it just wouldn't be on the scope.
You know what? Let's think about that. That we'd be sampling the public water supply? I think that would have to change. Because right now it's sampling private wells are part of that triannual program.
So what I'm trying to view is if, besides all the accusations here and there, but, you know, like, you're not gonna test the public water.
No, that's
So
the
that's up to
Southbridge.
DPW, you know, so, but, you know, but if, is this spreading, is this going further? Or DP gonna require everybody to continue to do the, you know, the 500 yards out each time? Or
That specific, the 500 feet that you're talking
500
about
feet.
is specific to the IRA condition. So if the IRA condition was closed out, what does that really mean? That means that the critical exposure pathway to folks using those wells as water supply would be eliminated by the installation of water line. Also, it's a requirement to decommission their existing wells as part of the water line installation. So you'd be removing the ability to access that for human consumption, so that would. So that's the first time I've actually really took a minute to think about the triannual program. I mean, I've had it in my arsenal since 2004, so it doesn't make sense.
People
to
would
have to
disconnect
change.
the wells.
Yeah.
I can understand about disconnection of the wells themselves, but, because it doesn't happen in a sense, you know, or something else can go wrong, but, you know, based on accusations, based on DEP's findings, all that kind of stuff, that they are still required. I mean, is this 1,4-dioxane going further, or all these chemicals going further out into the system, into other waterways?
So I think that's,
what I'm asking.
I have a basic understanding of that. You know, I'm not a hydrogeologist, I'm not a geologist. I think that's a really good question to ask the LSP Jeff Arps, who works for the board. I think he could give you a very detailed answer on that.
From what I understand so far, talking with some residents, some people may not hook up to the public water, if you can believe that.
Okay.
So I don't know if there would still be a requirement to test them. You may be released
we're
because
gonna
they
have to-
choose to not hook up, but
That's gonna have to be
Is that an option
considered.
in this, you know, Southbridge and, you know, the,
As I understand it, there's a minimum needed to hook up to the line to make it something usable, and they could keep everything that they need to keep that water potable. So it's not mandatory that folks hook up, from what I understand. So if you choose not to hook up, I don't think the IRA would still apply to that.
I was gonna say, so then I don't understand then how is that gonna work? Because if the IRA is going to get closed out, then what happens to those people? I mean,
Well,
does that
there's-
become a choice?
There's still the triannual program. So, you know, it doesn't specifically spell that out in the administrative consent order. So I think that has to be a further conversation.
Okay.
But it doesn't make any sense to me why somebody so concerned about their potable water would
Right.
not hook up to
Sure,
a reliable source.
that's what I'm
It's
thinking.
not
They're
something
complaining
we
that
can consider.
they've been complaining about running water lines for a while, so. And this really isn't gonna cost them anything to hook up to.
The only thing the resident is gonna have is their long-term water.
Right,
They
right.
don't have to
But
pay
that
for the
expense of
water.
actually hooking up, like like a normal, right,
Right.
would be.
If you or I to decide to hook up right now, the expenses that we would have is
They don't have.
not going to be incurred.
So we'll cross that bridge, but
What's
it's worth,
Betterment, I believe, is the word you're looking for.
Sure.
okay. All right. Thanks, if there's nothing else, so Tracy can get out of here, do we just wanna get another meeting?
I'm gonna stay.
Okay,
Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
gonna stay.
All right.
This is my Thursday night entertainment. Jesus. Watching back
You
to
have-
action.
Your life is worse than mine,
Yeah.
and that's hard to imagine. So, okay, so, chairman's announcements, can I do that now? So update, Maritza, do you want to update us on what's happening with the Charlton Beaver permit that you?
You can,
Okay. So Maritza contacted the, what was his name? Gerard? Todd Gerard, about the status of the Beaver permit on Gulfwood Road. And he says he's filing, or he has filed with the Conservation Commission. Do you remember, did he already file, or was he
he's
filing?
meeting with conservation.
And getting approval from them. And then is going to submit the permit to us.
Correct.
Okay, so, and then we should be able to go forward. All right? The second thing, at our Monday meeting, we talked about LOC and Sustainability Committee, and an idea was floated that we could have the Sustainability / Landfill Oversight Committee just before this meeting, rather than trying to hold separate meetings with the same people. Let's just have the Landfill Oversight Committee, which we have to have roll in the Sustainability Committee. And I think the timing is right, because as we're going through this whole, site assignment, I mean, everything's going to be part of the one big mix. So deal with landfill oversight and sustainability, kind of just before this meeting, and then have the Board of Health meeting also. So try to do it like a half hour before. We're thinking about a half hour, but I think we can make some line items on the agenda also for discussion for landfill and sustainability. Thanks. That's it for me. Board member announcements? Beth?
I have a couple of things. I just want to, I'd just like to acknowledge the recent passing of Apple Vecchia, a longtime resident of the town of Southbridge and former town councilor. He was a very passionate individual, and he loved this town, and he'll be missed. And sorry, I also would like to mention the incident yesterday at the hospital. And express how very saddened I am for everybody that was involved. It's that's my extended family there, and I just just want them to know that I was I'm thinking of them and hoping for a speedy recovery for my friend. That's all. That's it.
Thank you. David?
So I had, I went over the emails you sent. Yeah, I only had a couple of questions. This is for the waste ban notification. Is that actually in effect? Is that actually, because the way I'm reading it, it sounds like it's in effect right now, like for the tires.
Is that for
fine.
the enforcement?
Yeah, so, yes, so the last thing I saw was as of July 29th, and we're talking about like I think it's 5% they said, waste man fee for total amount of revenue. So if it was $150,000 monthly invoice, it was $7,500 fine to these companies. Because this is in effect, and so, and I see the emails, some of them, kind emails. And so, what is like the scale, or what's holding us back from collecting these funds besides Andy getting with Mike again? You know, I'm just trying to wrap my head around, like Andy wants this, and he's been asked to do it, and I'm all for it. I'm just trying to figure out why it's taking so long for us to do something.
All I know, because I haven't been involved in Andy's conversations in this building, is that they're trying to make sure they have the right accounting function to be able to actually invoice these amounts and collect the monies.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is going on for August 6, 2015 was the first thing, and then, so anyways, I just want to put that on the record as far as I'm waiting. I'm waiting to make a motion, so I just want us to, as the Board of Health, I mean, this is something that's coming from other towns, so I'm in big support of it myself. I just want us to kind of get this thing over with so that we can do the right thing. So, we just put that in the notes, that's all, like, maybe when Andy gets back.
I'll include that at the next month's meeting.
Minimal list.
So,
Yeah,
I'll place that on July's meeting.
yeah.
Along with the others.
So,
You'll be here, Andy will be here, and then we can move forward with that.
so was